better off you will be, especially if you're only taking information to bring back to another agent to help you do case design. If you don't have all the information, then you're going to end up having to go back, and it's not easy to go back and be like, oh, I forgot to get this and I forgot to get that. It's a little hard to cover that up. Some people in the room have been through that and experienced that and know what I'm talking about. So when you sit back down with them to do an FNA, you need to take a few minutes to connect with them again and remind them while you're sitting down. So go over those concepts real briefly, just to reopen that worry box a little bit and do a quick little review. The review should last no more than 5 to 10 minutes, right? Because you've already made your connection, you're just really not want to review. Oftentimes I start my FNA appointments out by asking them, what did you get most from the information when we last sat down? Because that's also going to give me a good idea as to what stood out to them, and whatever stood out to them is what is their worry box. That's their hot button. So that's what you want to know anyways. So I bring out the FNA and I say, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. I'm going to take a bunch of notes. The first question is always the hardest. When's your birthday? They get a little chuckle out of that. That breaks the ice, and we get right into it. Prior to saying that, I will tell them what we're going to do is we're going to go over your cash flow. So your income and your expenses. We're going to be going over your debt, and all of your debt, and how it's how it's being paid now, and if it's properly managed. We're going to go over your emergency fund, whether it exists or not, whether it needs to exist or not. We're going to go over your proper protection. We're going to go over asset accumulation vehicles and wealth preservation tools. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. I'm going to take a bunch of notes. First question is always the hardest. When's your birthday?